meteorologist Derek Height. Right now, 66.
We do it your way at Sir Pizza.
You can order Murfreesboro's favorite pizza online, sirpizzatn.com. Carry out and delivery for dinner tonight at sirpizzatn.com.
We're the Good Neighbor Network, FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, audio and video streaming at WGNSradio.com.
From the first pitch to the final buzzer, this is where the conversation starts. All sports talk on WGNS and Big G TV, covering the Preps, MTSU, news from Tennessee and nationwide. Now, here's All Sports Talk on the Good Neighbor Network.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome into All Sports Talk on this Tuesday. Tim Tackett and Jeff Jordan with you. Jeff, brought to you by Fans Heating and Air, Lee Colvin Financial Services with Edward Jones. It is a Tuesday. We are headed toward Memorial Day now, Jeff, with the Easter holiday out of the way. By the way, hope you had a nice Easter. The weather turned out very nice.
I did have a very nice Easter. As a matter of fact, it was a little coolish out there for the Easter egg hunt, but we had a good Easter egg hunt. We surely did. We had 4 people involved, actually, and eggs were found, and maybe some of them weren't. I don't know, but anyway, there's a bunch of them.
We're talking about plastic eggs.
We are, yes.
You know, those other eggs, if they don't get found, they can be troublesome to some degree.
Well, I've had that happen, but not lately. A long time ago I did.
Jeff, I think from a sports analogy, it's very good that we talk about Easter egg hunts and NCAA portal, because I think that's kind of what we're about. The Easter egg hunt has begun. In the basketball portal, the portal's alive and well for 15 days, and
start today. Yesterday.
Actually, I think yesterday the women started a day early. It was a day after their NCAA tournaments were completed, so
okay.
Officially can be in today, and let the fun begin. I think it's interesting that Michigan, who won the NCAA championship on the men's side, made up of all portal players, Jeff.
That's right. All 5 starters. And I really think in a way, that's an amazing coaching job.
Well, it is that. It is that. I'm not sure that's the direction I want to go. Kim Caldwell at the University of Tennessee's got a chance to make that happen, because she's going to have all transfer players in. She got none left there. But you're right to mold a team. But basketball is a long haul, Jeff. You start with those players in July, individual workouts, you get to know them and so forth. Play a cupcake schedule through November, December, then a tough schedule through. You can build a team with good players, but credit to the coach for sure. It's not altogether easy to find the right chemistry. You can find the right players, but finding the right chemistry is even tougher.
Yeah, they've got to do it themselves. The players do in many cases. It's just a matter of playing together, and they had never played a game together and until they started this season. And I think it was just remarkable, and I thought they were a very entertaining team and a lot of fun to watch, as was Connecticut.
When I go to a program, the Statue of Michigan, am I not going there to be the star?
Yeah, I guess so.
So you got 5 guys that all came there to be the star, and all 5 cannot be the star. As a matter of fact, nobody needs to be the star. To win a national championship, you need a cast of characters that play well. So congratulations to them. UConn hung in, just never could get it. I think 4 points is as close as they got in the second half. Never could break that barrier a little bit, and after their stunning win the 2 nights before that, it was a crazy tournament to me.
Well, I think both men and women were crazy tournaments. I picked Michigan when we got to 2 teams. Before that, my bracket was a disaster, but I did not pick Michigan. Matter of fact, I'm not sure that anybody, maybe 1 or 2 people in my family picked Michigan. Most people picked UConn or Duke. But anyway, be that as it may, it was an interesting game, full of talent, great plays, very physical game. I thought well officiated generally, and I was glad to see Michigan win. That was fine. I certainly am not a UConn person at all.
There's a lot of places I could interject and trying to figure out which one I want to go to, but I want to go to the women as well. Not a close game at all. I'm not sure I was more surprised by the South Carolina UConn game than I was the South Carolina UCLA game. UCLA came out of I say out of nowhere. Nobody. I don't think anybody was picking them to win it, were they? Wasn't it UConn or South Carolina for sure?
I don't believe. I don't know of anybody that picked UCLA to even be in the finals, and I find it amusing that they get in the Big Ten. What do? They win the national championship, But there's nothing wrong with that. And they were, boy, they just blew South Carolina away.
Can you make anything of the statement that someone asked me, and I'd like to think no, that can't happen that way, but maybe it did. Did South Carolina put so much into the game with UConn?
Yes.
And the after the game situation with UConn didn't help them at all. Maybe to stay focused and so forth, but they just didn't seem to have anything left for UCLA at all. And I would hate to give Gino Auriemma any credit for maybe taking them off their game a little bit, but I do think that has something to do with it.
Well, I don't know that incident with the UConn coach had anything to do with it at all. But I do think that South Carolina gave every indication that they were exhausted, really, and maybe more emotionally than physically.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not just physically.
And they just were not in the ball game and were never really in the ball game. They fell behind early and stayed that way late, and the margin was growing when the final horn sounded. I don't know if if you want to discuss the UConn coach at all.
Sure, go ahead.
But I thought that was everything that I have been told about him and read about him indicates, and this is not my opinion, this is just what it indicates, that he has a huge ego and is very proud of himself, and he has every reason to be, by the way. I don't know how many national championships he's got. But,
double digits.
Yeah, and he ends up with usually the best player in the nation, and our players, and I've also heard a great deal that he's a first-class jerk, or certainly can be. Well, I'm not going to judge him. I don't know him. I haven't really watched him all that close, but I watched him the other night, and he was a jerk, and there's no question about it. He was mad. He's mad because he got beat, I think. And his biggest sin was he got beat. I'm saying what I think now, not what I know. He got beat by a woman. He doesn't like that. And the
fact that she was a black woman
maybe
even adds that maybe a little bit. I don't know that.
I don't know either.
But it very well could.
Well, he and Pat Summitt, as you recall, and I know you do.
Oh yeah.
He had trouble with her.
Oh yeah.
And then she finally ended up having trouble with him. And
to the point they cut the series. The UConn UT Lady Vols series back in the mid to late 90s and early 2000s was the game of the year in women's basketball.
And they even somebody asked her. I don't know why you'd ever ask this question, but it's a pretty good question, I guess. And I don't think this was a very good answer. But they asked her if Coach Summitt, if she passed him on the highway and he'd broken down, would she stop and help? And the answer was probably not. She was very slow to answer. She just had enough of him. And okay, all right. But anyway, South Carolina, I thought, had won that ball game, and then they didn't have very, very little left for UCLA, who were really good. They were.
Michigan, the first winner out of the Big Ten in 25 years.
Right.
That is shocking to me. As good as Big Ten basketball is, that it'd be that. And speaking of which, they also had a ceremony for the 50th anniversary, I should say, of the last undefeated team to go through the tournament and win it. And IU back in 75, 76 season, Jeff, they won undefeated with Kent Benson and crew, and I thought that was pretty classy.
I thought so too, and a lot of them were there. Of course, Coach Knight is long gone, but you and I had a little connection with that team. You more than I, because you're from that area, and I'm sure we're rooting for Indiana. And Coach Knight won a bunch of games up there and more than one national championship. Mm-hmm. But we both knew Dr. Jan Stauffer, who was an assistant on that team, and he and I talked a number of times about that team, and Coach Knight in particular. So we know maybe a little bit about it, but I thought it was a nice gesture, and of course it was in their hometown. It was in Indianapolis
for different reasons, but Bobby Knight was very much like Gino Auriemma in the fact that you really liked him a lot or you don't like him at all. There was very little in between with him, and Gino's in the same situation. But Coach Knight. And Indiana basketball, but Jeff, that brings up. I can go down a lot of rabbit holes. Indiana University has not been a player in the big time upper echelon part of men's basketball for 25 years now.
Long time.
I mean, we talk about Nebraska's fall from grace in football. Let's say Indiana University was once a Duke, a Kentucky, a North Carolina, a true blue blood. Their blood has changed colors.
I think that's correct. And they've been very careful. They've hired great people, but it just hadn't been there. Coach Knight, well, he got excellent results. Let's put it that way. I went to a coaching clinic that he was in charge of one year, and I didn't particularly care for him all that much, but that's not why I was there. But by the time we left, I didn't want any more to do with him.
Right.
He was just,
obnoxious.
Yeah. Okay, good word.
I was at the A clinic. It may have been the one at Vanderbilt. I don't know if it's the one you went to or not.
The one I went to was in Atlanta.
I went to one in Vanderbilt, and I came away very disgusted that I'm reading his book and doing, and I did. I followed a lot of his coaching techniques. Will Shelton can tell you that 3 or 4 things that I did daily that was out of the Bobby Knight playbook.
He had some real innovation on I thought man-to-man defense, and I went for that reason. But there were a lot of other reasons to go. But Tim, I always felt like really that for whatever reason. He got special treatment. He did. And if a person throws a chair across the room during the game.
He had such a strong personality. It took a really strong personality to stand up to him.
Yeah.
He was a bully in lots of ways.
The official stood there, on his side of the floor, really right there by him, and he never even looked at him. And I thought at the time, well, buddy, you've got a thick skin, to be able to throw a chair. And I don't mean, as you well remember, he didn't throw the chair 2 or 3 feet. He threw it all the way across the floor, and it skidded into the well, it went past the foul line.
The good news is he didn't hurt somebody with it. I mean, there's enough room between him and them that whatever, but.
And he stayed in the game. I mean, he's still there. I don't know why he's still there, but he was still there. But anyway, I thought it was a nice reception and a nice thing to do for Indiana University. They had evidently they had a bunch of the players were there, former players and some assistant coaches and whatnot. And it was in Indianapolis, which of course that's their home. So. I thought that was very nice.
Well, it's strange to think of Indiana University winning the national championships in football, but nowhere near it in basketball. Let's take a break. We'll come back with more All Sports Talk right after this.
If someone asked, "What's your more?" would you be surprised? Well, at First Bank, knowing your more is where we start. Whether it's seeing your kid's college graduation, seeing the world, or seeing the ocean from your patio, your more helps us see who you are. That's why First Bank offers you more time, more access to local lenders and leaders, more answers, and more products. So tell us, what's your more? First Bank. Bank local. Get more. Member FDIC.
Every team knows which play can be a winning move. I'm State Farm Agent Andy Womack, here to help life go right by combining your home and auto insurance. Call me today at 615-890-0850. It's a winning move that saves you time and money. Your ride, your stuff. You live with them together. I'm State Farm Agent Andy Womack. It's smart to protect them together, to help life go right. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let me help you save by combining your auto and renters.
Clark's Auction Company will get you top dollar for your property.
Auctions are easy, fast, and profitable.
You have a staff that comes to your home. They walk you through it. It's been my experience. What I thought I should get for my home, I got much more for it.
Call Parks Auction and Realty or visit parksauction.com.
Clark's Auction Company will get you top dollar for your property.
Parks Auction Company, committed to auction excellence.
Hold it to you, 27.5.
Lace up your best kicks for a night of impact benefiting First Shot. Join us for the annual Sneaker Ball, presented by Venture Express. Spend Sunday, April 26th with NFL Hall of Famer and Super Bowl MVP Marcus Allen. The event kicks off at 6 with a VIP meet and greet at 5. Reserve your table today. Call Coach Andy Herzer at 615-631-5312. We'll see you at the Sneaker Ball, benefiting First Shot on April 26th.
It's time for the Doug Young Educator of the Month, proudly sponsored by City Tile and Floor Covering on Spring Street. We're over at Siegel Middle School to celebrate a teacher who really goes the extra mile. 7th grade ELA specialist Eva Carroll. As part of the 7C team, Miss Carroll does more than just teach English. She helps her students find their own voices. She is known for making literature click and for creating a classroom where every kid feels like they belong. Whether she's collaborating with her team or mentoring a student, her passion for Siegel Middle is impossible to miss. For her incredible heart and hard work, our Doug Young Educator of the Month, sponsored by City Tile and Floor Covering, receives a gift certificate to Toots and a beautiful plaque from L&K Trophy. Congratulations, Eva Carroll at Siegel Middle School, and thanks for all you do. To nominate your favorite teacher, go to WGNSradio.com/educator.
Good afternoon. Still slow traffic 24 east past the Jolton exit as they clean up from an earlier wreck. We're looking at a crash here south of Trinity Lane on 65 southbound. This is normally where they crash in the morning. We're also working a wreck in South Nashville. It's had traffic tied up trying to get down through there on 65 south trying to pass Armory. Hey, don't let the slipping transmission make things worse on your car or truck. If you're having transmission problems, come to Amco Transmissions at 1212 Gallatin Pike in Madison. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
It's all sports talk from the Good Neighbor Network, FM 1019, 100.5, AM 1450, WGNSradio.com, and Big G TV.
Welcome back into All Sports Talk. Tim Tackett with you, along with Jeff Jordan. Jeff brought to you by Fans Heating and Air, Lee Collin Financial Services. We're talking about the portal. The last count I had at Middle Tennessee, 2 of the men were in the portal, or are in the portal, and 3 from the women's team. On the ladies' side, none really great surprise. I guess I would say going into the season, Savannah Davis being in the portal at the end of this thing would have been more because Savannah had shot the lights out and was averaging 25 points a game and had a chance to move on. Jeff, she was nothing close to what I expected from her all season long, and I felt bad for her because she just never found her rhythm all season long, and she's apparently lost her moxie here, and is going to transfer. The other, Yuhan Lin, the freshman from Taiwan, and the young lady from Blackman that transferred in from Purdue. I can't call her name now. But I thought Coach Insel, it's easy to say Coach Insel, we don't have to change our last name talking about it that way, did a nice thing by putting a video out of the players that are coming back and using the theme, I'm back. And the players that I think many of us were fearful they may lose some of or all of, apparently are all going to return. And so it'd be interesting to see what Matt can put with them. If he can find he needs some size. Dominguez is 6'10". That's plenty of size yet, but I don't know that she's ever going to play. You're shaking your head in agreement.
I don't see it, but we didn't expect her to play this year. That's for certain, and she did not. Played very little, and so we've got a summer and fall to develop. But you're right. She has a long way to go. I hope she's able to do that. But the others, I don't think there was any particular surprises there. And I also think that in many cases, in Middle Tennessee State University, women's basketball, I think it's hard to leave that situation. I think it's a good situation. Sure. Good facilities, good support, good coaching. It's all there. A league where you can compete.
An expectation to win, which
absolutely
is winning attitude, winning tradition.
Yeah, and so I'm glad we're going to keep some. Or most of them, I guess. We are. We never. I think for the first time in a long time, this is a team that never really found its identity. It never really did get its chemistry right, and they were an average, maybe slightly above average team, and that's, I think, what they finished, one game over 500.
17 and 16, I think, is correct.
Okay, and there's no shame there. There's no shame at all, but a lot of people would kill for that record.
Sure,
you get to 17 wins. That's remarkable. So we've got a summer of development to go here, and Rick has resigned, and Matt got his work cut out for him, which is what he wanted.
It's what he signed up for, that's for sure. I've got a good feeling that he'll bring. He's got 2 kids already committed or signed for the year. I think he's got 9 players returning, so that's 11. He's got 3 more spots to work with the 3 that are leaving. So interesting to see what that does. Portal kids, probably, Jeff. What do you think?
Yeah.
That's kind of the way the game is played these days, and he's got some things to sell, but it's the thing that you fear worst at any school is what's happening at the University of Tennessee when you lose all your players. And Lady Vols ended on an 8-game losing streak, and apparently the rumors, the thought process was she lost the locker room was true. Good news, bad news for her. She gets to start over. Can she go out and find enough good players to compete in the SEC, you think?
Can she?
Yes, the answer to that is yes. How likely is it that she does?
Well, it's tough. When you got to rebuild the entire starting roster, that's very, very difficult at the University of Tennessee.
The good news is it is at the University of Tennessee. There will be money to be spent. They've got great facilities. They've got great tradition, whatever. The bad news is anybody look at that program has got to look around and say, why did all these people leave?
Yeah, I know.
And she's going to need 1 or 2 really good, strong players to come in there in Knoxville, come in and kind of set the bar to say, okay, we've got 2 really good players. Come join us. The right set of circumstances, it can't happen, but it's a tall order. Not only do you have to be pretty good, you got to be real good, real good to play against schools like you see in the SEC.
Tough league. I mean, it's, and I guarantee you, there's nobody in this league that feels sorry for the University of Tennessee. I actually don't feel sorry for anybody. Certainly not them, and they would enjoy winning a basketball game playing them. Tennessee it was almost, in a way, the victim of their own success. You know, they won national championships. They won the league. They've had outstanding coaching with Pat Summitt for years, and now all of that is in the past, pretty much. So you're going to have to rebuild it, and that's hard to do. Very
I don't know
difficult.
the answer to this, but how far back do you have to go to find Tennessee in the national championship hunt?
Well, I don't know the answer to that question.
Several years, a bunch of years.
Oh yeah, they're always somebody to be considered. Yes, without question. They're a blue blood, as they say. And incidentally, it looks as if the NCAA is going to add some teams to the tournament. Very likely.
Been a rumor that they'll probably go up to 72 teams.
Or 76.
Or 76. We might as well make it 100.
Yeah, that's right. And I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't. It seems to me that we've got too many in now, but I may be wrong about that. When you look at this year's bracket, you think, well, you know, the first thing that jumped off the sheet to me when I saw it. And by the way, my bracket, I didn't do well at all. I mean, Jake won it. Okay, he won, and that's okay. I don't care about that, but it was fun. But the first thing that jumped off that bracket sheet to me when I looked at it first time was that Texas was in the play-in game. Texas. Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, they've been a power for a long time. And they did win, and I think they won the next game, too, so I think. So,
well, there's two play-in levels. There's play-in for the 11 seed has a play-in spot, and there's 16 seed. If you're playing for that play-in spot at the 16, you're on the low end of the bracket for sure. If you're at the 11 spot, that means you're still pretty good.
Well, they were plenty good. I was just, it was just stunning to see them there. But maybe that's where they belonged. I don't know. But anyway, I think they're going to add some teams. And if we needed any further proof, and we don't, at least I don't think that I do, the real thing here is money. Mm-hmm. That adds probably 2 more weekends to the bracket to teams, and they'll be well sponsored, and the TV coverage will have a heck of a contract, and money will flow. Okay, all right.
If you strike gold the way Michigan did, for example, and sign 5 really good players that not only can play but can get along and do whatever, it's a good thing. But Jeff, this business of signing players and them leaving, I think little by little the fan base at a lot of places is going to find themselves completely drained out. It's harder and harder for me, and I think I'm about as loyal as they can be to look around and say, I got to follow teams that I don't know the players. Our football team right now, I hope it's going to be really good. The spring practice started this week, and I'm optimistic. But Jeff, 95% of those players I've never heard of, because 37, 38, 39, 40, 50 each year come in and come out. And it's not just Middle Tennessee, it's everywhere. It's going to take a toll on fans. I think it's maybe already doing that.
I don't know if it's caught up with baseball or not, where the teams change players so frequently. But I agree with you. If you have a team that's really good or whatever, and the whole roster is brand new every year, they don't stay and develop where they are. They want to go somewhere else because of the money or the notoriety, or there's a coaching change or whatever. It's hard to have your loyalty and keep it all that time. It's very difficult.
Well, as I say, football season's underway, and of course, with that, NFL is back in the front lines of things because there's a draft coming up here in 2 weeks in, and that's turned into huge business, Jeff. Just talking about the draft, and some of these people make their living being on radio trying to tell me who the Titans should draft.
Probably the draft in Nashville. And I don't really understand why anybody would even go to the draft, but
because you get to stand there for free amongst all these people trying to catch your breath, and I'm being sarcastic.
Well, you're not being wrong either, but but you get there, but the Nashville did so well and promoting that draft and the attendance to that draft, I think what that meant to me was they are seriously going to do the new stadium, be through with the new stadium in less than a year. They're thinking Super Bowl, and they're going to get it. That's going to happen.
Oh, sure.
Not next year, not the year after, but maybe after then. Yes, I think so.
The follow-up to this will be MTSU baseball. They take on David Lipscomb.
They do.
You recall back in the day of Ken Dugan at Lipscomb. I'm trying to think the guy at Belmont, but baseball in this area has been good for so long. You don't hear much about the Belmonts and Lipscombs of the world anymore.
Or Cumberland.
Right, in baseball. And of course, Middle struggled pretty mightily. They're, I think, 16-16 the record right now for the Raiders, and they're 5-7 in the league. So in position to make some noise in the league, in position to, and they're also in position to sink to the bottom if they're not careful.
I'm going to look at it as generally you do as well, on a positive note. I think maybe finally middle baseball is making some sounds like they're going to be really relevant in the league. I hope that is the case.
Well, Jeff, we're going to get out of here a little early today. We got Chip Walters up with the Blue Raider Insider Report. I'm sure he'll fill folks in on what's going on with the Blue. And then college baseball, we'll follow that. Middle Tennessee hosting David Lipscomb. That will be 5:45, first pitch at 6 o'clock at Reese Smith Field. And wrap it up for All Sports Talk today. Join us again tomorrow at 5 o'clock.
You're listening to the flagship station for Blue Raiders sports.
On 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Middle Tennessee. Play up and score.
Middle Tennessee football, basketball, and baseball. Yeah, we got them.
You're listening to the flagship station for Blue Raider Athletics. I'm Chip Walters. Hear the games here on News Radio WGNS.
Middle Tennessee wins. Raiders win the championship.
Your source for the Big Blue and the Borough. News Radio WGNS.
You've changed thousands of diapers, cut off hundreds of crusts, played hours of peekaboo and duck, duck, goose because you do anything for your kids. That's why it's so important to protect them with life insurance from State Farm. Hello, I'm State Farm Agent Deb Insel, and I can help make it easy and affordable to help you protect your family no matter what the future holds. Because for the people you do anything for, life insurance could mean everything. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey folks, it's Chip Walters from Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates, helping Middle Tennessee make smart moves in a fast-moving market. Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, you deserve someone who knows this community and treats your goals like their own. From first-timers to long-time homeowners, I'm here to guide you with clarity, confidence, and a steady hand. When you're ready to make the next move, start with someone you trust. Visit ChooseChip.net and let's make your 2026 move the right move.
Lace up your best kicks for a night of impact benefiting First Shot. Join us for the annual Sneaker Ball presented by Venture Express. Spend Sunday, April 26th with NFL Hall of Famer and Super Bowl MVP Marcus Allen. The event kicks off at 6 with a VIP meet and greet at 5. Reserve your table today. Call Coach Andy Herzer at 615-631-5312. We'll see you at the Sneaker Ball benefiting First Shot on April 26th.
Next on All Sports Talk, it's the Blue Raider Insider Report with Chip Walters of Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and we'll open up with Blue Raider football. Today was the first day of spring practice / OTAs. Yeah, Coach Derek Mason and his staff, they have changed the format a bit of how they're going about spring practice and also starting a bit later in the spring semester. Today was day one of OTAs for the Blue Raiders, and Emmy Fazenbaker of GoBlueRaiders.com had a chance to talk to the head coach when it was done.
Coach, it's the first day of spring ball. Football is finally back. So how is it going today? How's the vibes, and how are the guys doing?
The vibe is one of great energy, great competition, and really this group has sort of been waiting for this opportunity. You know, when you get a chance to get pads on, we only get 10 opportunities this spring, right? We're in phase 3 of OTAs. These off-season off-season training activities. And what I can tell you is this group is super fired up to be back on the grass and doing this thing for real.
I know the mindset for this team is all in, kind of the culture of that too. How is the team going to be able to cultivate that and adapt to that on the field?
Well, they've been building that, right? No toe dipping. You don't get a chance to decide when you play. You get a chance to decide how you play. Yeah. And that's with an all-in mentality. I think these guys have sort of bought in from the time we actually started winter conditioning to what we see now. They work hard. They care about each other. They root for one another. But I think the biggest thing is that, we want to be all gas, no brakes.
All right. Well, exciting things are coming.
Thank you.
Of course.
More to come on OTAs. Also today is the first day of the college basketball transfer portal being open. And as expected, Middle Tennessee officially has one in the transfer portal. That's Chris Loof. But Torrey Alston has also made his intentions known that he will be going into the transfer portal. Does that mean they're gone? Not necessarily, not anymore. But expect Chris Loof and Torrey Alston of the Blue Raiders to be in there. Looking around Conference USA, Liberty has Brett Decker expected to go into the transfer portal. He was one of the top shooters in all of college basketball this year. He is from Elizabethtown, Kentucky, and it is expected that both the University of Louisville and Kentucky will have interest in him. Checking others, Kennesaw State is losing almost their entire starting lineup, or as far as at least going into the portal. Ramon Seals, Braden Liu, Franquan Sherman, and point guard R.J. Johnson, and they will all be coveted by many different teams. Kennesaw ended up winning the Conference USA tournament down in Huntsville. Elsewhere, Delaware losing their two best guards, Christian Bliss and Justin Fernandez, have both entered the transfer portal. Louisiana Tech has Caden Cooper and Melian Martinez both going into the portal. Cooper, a junior, Martinez, just a sophomore, but a good rim protector. Eric DeBami, speaking of rim protectors, from FIU, he is in the portal. From Missouri State, Amar Kujovic didn't play very much this year. For New Mexico State, a couple of guys, including 6'11 junior Sear Malonga, speaking of rim protectors, who's going to be out there on the open market. For Sam Houston, a couple of guys, Isaiah Manning, Jacob Walker, and one of the best defenders in all of Conference USA, Cashy Nat. Also, Western Kentucky right now, a couple of guys I didn't really hear of that much this year. Louis Simona and Noah Boyd expected or will be in the transfer portal. That's it for today. More tomorrow here on the Big G, WGNS.